Well, good evening and welcome back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, and I know she does not look like Kristin. But Jessica Patterson is certainly not new to Mystic Matters, and I'm just so excited to have her on this evening and saying welcome, Jessica. She, as you know, we handpicked Jessica, and I'm for all the right reasons. And you're supposed to turn your phone off, by the way, when you are filming Mystic Matters. But as you know, I'm a very busy person. I have it on sort of down and mute. But welcome back to Mystic Matters.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
And this is, where are you from?
Town of Groton,
Parks and Rec.
You got it. Yeah.
And you're busy as well.
I try to be. Yeah. We have a great community going on, so it's just there's always a ton of things happening.
I know when you come on to Mystic Matters, you've always have some great news for us. But thank you for pinch hitting. And I just want to reach out to Kristin too, because Kristin's not here. She won't be here for the next couple of weeks because she's always working very hard for the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, she is.
So Jessica, what do we have going on?
Oh my gosh, we have a ton going on. So the most important things coming up, although everything's obviously very important.
Yes.
We have on May 31st the Groton Update Breakfast with Senator Chris Murphy that's happening.
Very important.
So if you're interested in getting tickets, you can go to the mysticchamber.org website. On June 4th, we have our next business after hours at Stone Ridge Retirement Community. And then on June 5th, we have another business after hours at Cardinal Honda. June 6th, it is going to be a busy beginning of June. We have the business before hours with Simmons Kitchen Design at 8 a.m. All of those events plus like 100 more are all on the Mystic Chamber website, so definitely check it out.
Great. And also we are also looking for volunteers for the Mystic Outdoor Art Festival, and that is always a great event for us in August. So you can look online too and sign up. It's also a great opportunity to meet your friends and family and enjoy volunteering and the shops, the artists, and also the restaurants.
Absolutely. Let's talk about food. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what, Jessica, before the end of the show, we'll just kind of figure out maybe where we could go afterwards. But we've got a great show for everybody this evening, and it's my pleasure to introduce Wendy Connal. She's actually on my right, okay, from the Bill Memorial Library and the Avery Kopp House as well.
Well, I don't work for the Avery Kopp House, but Avery Kopp is involved with Groton Bank Day.
Okay, which is great. And then Irma Streeter, who I've known for years and years and years and years, who's also on the committee for the Groton Bank.
Yes, I am.
Right? Remember, they pulled you in.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled you in.
I had a phone call and said, "Gee, would you be willing to help?" And I said, "Yes."
So glad she did.
Yes.
So Wendy, why don't you take the lead on this and tell us, is Groton Bank a bank?
It is not a bank. It is a historic village on the bank of the Thames River, so in Groton City, so Thames Street, Monument Street, and all the historic sites that are in that area are collaborating to bring Groton Bank Day to
the banks
the people.
of Groton. Sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a fun, family-friendly, free day.
You just said my favorite F's: fun, family, friendly, and free. Love it.
Yeah.
So it's a free day.
Yes.
Okay, so why do you do this?
Well, just to get the word out to people about all the things that Groton Bank has to offer, all the different venues that we have, Ebenezer Avery House, Avery Kopp House. The Sub-Vets have joined us this year. The Groton Congregational Church is opening its doors to show the stained glass windows, one of which is a Tiffany window.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. The Mother Bailey House, we're very pleased to say that will be open, and they're holding a musical event with Kay Perry, and Jim Streeter is going to be talking there. So there are lots of...
Is he doing a book signing at Jim Streeter or anything on it?
He had a book signing earlier today.
I have one of his books. So Irma, how do they rope you in and why?
Just a phone call. I'm not sure why, because I usually volunteer for many things, but I had not volunteered for this before. And so when they called, I thought to myself, well, it's only 2 months away. No matter how busy it is, I can find time for it. It's been a bit of a tension for a little bit because we had our TM budget sessions going for the last month.
Yeah.
So that's over. Now I can relax and then really enjoy this day.
Yay.
Yay. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm excited about with it is this is kind of a mashup of the history of Groton and the art of Groton, right? So it's Groton Bank Day, which is June 8th.
Yes.
And what time is the event?
It goes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
All the venues will be open during those hours.
And this is the same as the Connecticut Open House Day?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So what else goes on?
Oh,
I mean, give us a little, sort of a snapshot, or what are we going to expect as soon as the doors open?
Well-
Or the gate opens, or the banks of the river open?
If you go down to the riverfront, near where the Civil War Memorial is, near the filtration plant down there is a boat that will take you for a ride across the river and back. If you're in New London and you want to take that boat, then you need to get off in Groton to be free. At the beginning of it, there will be one boat, but by noontime, there'll be 2 different boats. So you want to make sure you get on the one that says for Groton Bank Day after that. And we also have a shuttle bus that will travel all the streets and to all the various locations with a book that if you get your book stamped at every place you go, and if you get at least 5 stamps, your name will be entered into a drawing.
What do we
let's
get,
see.
though? What's
Seriously.
that drawing?
At the library, we have.
Yes, I think the prize this year is a water taxi pass, if I'm not mistaken.
that's awesome.
I hope
Really?
I'm not
That's very
mistaken, because
nice.
that would be terrible to say that. Last year, it was a custom-made painting from one of the artists at Art on Groton Bank, which Bill Memorial hosts on that day. But this year,
So no, this is the second Groton Bank Day and the 12th Art on Bank Day, right?
right, Art
Okay.
on Groton Bank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys done the water taxi before? I had the opportunity to do it last summer, and it really gives a cool perspective.
We bought
Of
one
our
of
riverfront,
the season
yes,
tickets,
I
and
know.
we didn't get out there very often, but when we did get there, we really enjoyed
so
it.
cool.
Yes.
It is. It's nice to take a day and park on the Groton side, take the water taxi and spend the day in New London.
Yeah, and then come back
come
over.
over.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
So how many artists are on the green there?
I don't know the answer to that.
Right. You know, they're signing up kind of every day. We usually have around, I would say, 25.
Okay. Do we know who they are, or they're just signing up right now?
They're signing
are
up right now.
signing.
Like last year, we had, fine art, so paintings, photography, jewelry. There was a potter that was there, a ceramicist.
Are you still accepting artists if they want to register for it now?
I believe we are,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
What website would people go to if they want to find more information about the event?
It's grotonbankday.org.
Okay, cool.
And you can also sign up to volunteer if you have some time and you'd like to do that.
Yes. Of course. we do need volunteers.
Yes.
So what do you need the volunteers for, Irma?
To kind of help out at various areas. Down in the boat area, we'll have one person riding the boat. I'm going to do that at noon for a couple hours.
So noon's taken.
Yes. And we have somebody on the shore, and there'll also be a vendor there, so to kind of coordinate people to where they should be standing or going while they're waiting for things. They also will be fairly knowledgeable about what's going on in Groton Bank that day, and they will make sure you have a program if you haven't gotten one yet. That includes a map and shows you the various places.
Right. And where the food will be located, where the restrooms are located.
Correct.
It'll
Two
all be
very
in that
important
booklet.
things.
Yes.
So we talk about a free event. I have to tell that what a great way to not only highlight this particular area in Groton, but also to bring your family.
Yeah.
And get them out there and get all the kids out there and just enjoy the waterways and just this beautiful area down in Groton. So how important is this, Wendy, to highlight this day?
Well, we feel it's very important, and to have events at a lot of the locations for children. I know Art on Groton Bank, Lyman Allen has agreed to come over and have a table there
that's
to
huge.
do
That's great.
just a craft with the kids. And I know like Avery Cobb House has special games for children, trying to make it really family friendly.
So same thing, if you do want to have vendors sign up between now and the event, they can go to the website?
Yes, well, for Art on Groton Bank, that would be a Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay,
And
just
the
to
contact
keep.
information is there.
Yeah.
So we talk about family gatherings and family events, and Irma, I'm just going to pose this question to you because it's very important that we get the families out
Correct.
and educate the families on what we have on art that day. Not only just the art, but our whole area down there, the waterways. So tell us a little bit.
The historical.
I feel like I'm asking Jimmy Streeter for. But anyways, tell us important.
Historian.
Yes.
And so I probably am a little more knowledgeable than many people. But we have Fort Griswold, which was part of the Revolutionary War. And you can walk around in there. They have a small museum there. These will both be open with guides for Groton Bank Day on June 8th. And we have the river. The river itself has always been very important for Groton and New London. For many years, Groton was a part of New London, and this is the way people came back and forth. They had small boats, started with a canoe, I believe. And the first, or Groton Congregational Church, I'm sorry, it used to be called First Church of Groton. And now it's Groton Congregational Church. They have the Tiffany windows. Many of the members back in the early days during the Revolutionary War, in fact, I believe either all of their members that were male were killed, or maybe there was one or two left.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, the Avery Cop House. That's a house that I believe it was built in the 1800s, and it was maintained exactly the way it was when the family that was living there gave it up. Things were not taken away. They have brought in new things that go with that period of time, but it's a fun place to go and just walk around and see all these things. If you go up to the attic, they had young girls who served as maids and helpers in the house, and they lived in the attic, so you can do that now too, which you couldn't do years ago. Let me see. What am I missing?
If I can add, it's neat that the history of Groton Bank really mirrors the history of our country, because we have the Revolutionary War sites, and then into the 1800s. So Avery Cop House was built in 1800. The Fort Griswold was used in the War of 1812, and of course Mother Bailey is famous for her roles in the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. So we have the 1800s. Bill Memorial Library was built in 1890. So and then the 1900s, the Groton Congregational Church was built in 1902. So that kind of starts that century off. And then we have the World War II Subvets Memorial.
Which is really important as well. You know, I mean, as we get older and later on in the years, you know, some of the next generation need to understand that was those veterans were really what charged this United States to be what it is now. And you know, the sacrifices that all our veterans make, but certainly we have to remember those, you know, veterans. That some of that is still alive, but also the fact that you know, it really changed the course of the United States of America in that history period. But also, talk a little bit, the Bill Memorial Library is another historical building in place.
Yes.
And very important to Groton as well.
Right. We were the first library in Groton, so built in 1890. Our collection was actually purchased in 1888 and housed, we think, at the school that's you know, in kind of our backyard, until the building was built in 1890. And we have Colonel Ledyard's sword that's on permanent display there. Yes.
I know that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question, Wendy. Do we get a lot of families and kids coming to the libraries?
We do, yes. We're gearing up for our summer season when we have programs for children and teens and even adults all summer long that are very well attended. Let's see, we just had our Bunny Bonanza like a month ago.
Oh, is that for Easter? The Bunny Bonanza?
The Easter Bunny is there, so you can take a picture of your child with the Easter Bunny. We have live bunnies there. We have crafts and all kinds of different stations, and we had 470 people come through for that event, just our little library. So a very busy day.
Your audience is mainly Groton?
We also had baby goats.
Oh,
Come on.
Yeah,
Jessica, I think we missed out on this
Seriously.
event. I think.
it was a lot of fun.
So kids are still, and families are still using the libraries, which I think is
absolutely.
so important these days.
Yeah.
You know, with the programming and just for the families to learn that it's a space that not only is it filled with a lot of information, but it's a space that a family can go to, and it's still informational.
Right.
And it's another
and fun.
resource.
Yes.
And have fun, yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I think you guys have absolutely nailed is kind of to the point. There's a lot of history that goes on, right? There may be this kind of thought that goes along with it's a bit outdated, it's not relevant, but every time I walk into the building, it's welcoming, it's inviting, and it encourages you to stay for a little while and check out to see what's happening. And the programs that you guys offer, talk about impactful and positive for the community, because it literally is kind of in a sneaky way encouraging kids to come to the library, encouraging families to come to the library, but with this wonderful, not pretense, but with this wonderful ability to make everyone kind of excited to do it. And I've never left there feeling like that wasn't exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. So just quick shout out, great programming, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So the expectation is, it was a more than what you expected,
Yeah,
Jessica, which
absolutely.
is fantastic. Irma, we want to just tap a little bit into some of the, you and Jimmy you're like walking history. And, you know, just two wonderful people in Groton. But also, how important is it to just, for some of the new kids coming up, for them to learn about their history?
I believe most children today, at least once I get beyond Christopher Columbus, perhaps, and they learn about George Washington, but for some reason, after that, it seems to get lost.
I agree with you.
Right, and there have been some teachers that have taught a local history program at the high school on occasion, but I don't think it's part of the regular curriculum. So I think
It isn't
and
anymore.
you're living this in our neighborhood because this is part of what you're learning about. So it's very important. If we don't know history, we don't know what to expect.
Well, I think, and I've had the opportunity to speak at a lot of the different high schools and even the middle school on various things, whether it's volunteerism, whether it's the police, whether it's business, whatever, civic duties. But, you know, when you talk about history, you know, you even go back to the Vietnam War. That's not what they teach now.
No.
Even Desert Storm isn't and so never mind the Civil War, the Revolutionary War,
Right.
Or World War II. So I think it's very important, this is how I feel, because, you know, when my parents were talking about history, they weren't just talking about history 20 years ago, 10 years ago. They went way back, way, way back to Christopher Columbus, to the Revolutionary War. You know, they just went way back, and I think it's
good.
It's important that we also go way back.
Yeah.
And that you're going to find this information at the Bill Memorial Library or any library that you are, sign up, be a member. I was telling somebody one day, going through some of my old information. I mean, who wants to find your Mystic Knowing library card from 1964? Okay? First of all, it was okay. The picture, not so good. Okay? It's all,
I'm sure.
it's like black and white, mainly white now. But I mean,
Yeah.
I remember the days that, your parents on a Saturday would bring all the kids and they would have to sit and listen to story time. Very, very, very,
makes it
very
real.
important. Yes. And I like what you said, coming out of the building and feeling that it was still welcoming, because we do have a tendency when you talk about libraries and any of the other historical things to say, that was in your day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was that generation. Oh, how do you handle that though when they say, well, we don't go to the libraries anymore, we get everything online?
Well, the Bill Memorial has a lot to offer for people who just go online. We have audiobooks and ebooks and databases that they can access from home. They can put things on hold, look at their account online, renew things, go through our catalog, put things on hold, and then, just come into the library to pick them up. So
Yeah.
Right.
we have a good online presence.
I don't think Wendy's aware of this. I haven't said it too often, but I grew up in the
dun.
town.
You heard it here. Thank you, Irma. You heard it here on Mystic Matters.
As a child, my mother would load us into the car, and any kids in the neighborhood that wanted to go, and we went to the Bill Memorial Library. Mrs. Spicer, I believe, worked there at the time, so this goes way back.
That's a Groton name.
This would have been early 50s. And it was a fun day. We were there for most of the day. We'd go to the library. Sometimes our books were overdue, and we get a little lecture. But we also...
Oh, we don't do that anymore.
They don't pay those overdue little bills.
But we would be able to play in the fort afterwards, and we'd stay for a couple hours running around and playing and just having... Sometimes some of us would just sit there and read in the shade or something, but it was always a very welcoming place forever. Yeah.
Great.
Yes. And I'm hoping parents will take advantage, even if you don't make it on June 8th, to come over and enjoy the fort, the museum when it's open. It's not open a lot, but and also the library especially. Yeah.
The fort itself has so much to offer. Like if you think, like kind of to your point, you can go, you can read. We would always go and picnic there, just because why would you not? It overlooks the water. It's gorgeous.
Gosh, one of the best view in town, right?
Yes.
And then
It's
during
gorgeous.
winter, sledding, I'm just saying, kind of the best. That or Washington Park.
So who developed art on Groton Bank? I mean, how did this is your second, did you say?
Well,
Second
Groton
year.
Bank
Bank.
Day, it's
Okay.
our second year.
Okay.
Yeah, how did that come about?
I was just
think
wondering.
it evolved out of the art, and I don't know how that started, but there were some people that decided this is a good way to have a celebration of the arts.
Thank goodness they did.
Yeah.
And right, so with it's on Connecticut Open House Day, and we said, hey, a lot of these locations in Groton Bank are doing Open House Day. Let's get together and collaborate and do the publicity, and so it really just sprung out of that. And then it's like, well, let's have a shuttle that will bring people around to all the different venues. Hop on, hop off. That's free. And then last year we were able to get a grant from EB, Electric Boat, to do the water taxi shuttle. That's just this year, it's just dedicated for us. As Irma was saying, there's one boat that's just a shuttle for Groton Bank Day. And then in addition, so the water taxi's running its usual thing, the Thames River Heritage Park water taxi.
So now for next year, is this primarily sponsor-led as far as kind of the funding goes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sponsors.
I
Go
can
ahead.
tell you, well, she said Electric Boat has specifically sponsored the boat.
So we want to thank them.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And the other major sponsors are Chelsea Groton Bank, Groton Utilities, the Guard Art Center, Charter Oak Federal Credit Union, City of Groton, Groton Senior Center, The Resident, Cumulus Radio, and Northeast Forensics.
Wow, these are some great sponsors.
Yeah, they
There
are.
others that have advertisements in the book,
Okay.
but these were the major ones.
Okay.
Yes.
So is this a type of thing as you go forward that you'll need sponsors? I mean, this is a free event, but it's also funded. I mean, you couldn't do it without the sponsors. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
So what do the sponsors get if they were, to do this again, or if you're looking for more sponsors?
Excellent exposure, for sure.
Right. We try to include them on all of our social media, on the website. Right. We put them in the program book, and then we also sell ads in the program book. So even if you just want a little kind of shout out, we can do that too.
Yeah.
We
But I
have
think
all
it's-
sizes from 25 up to 1,000, I
Wow.
believe, or more.
Right. But isn't this, I just heard all of the major sponsors, and those are major sponsors.
Yeah, they
Yes,
are.
they are.
Those are, I mean, they're all plugged in with Groton.
Correct.
And basically, it's just the right thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in your hometown.
Absolutely.
You're supporting the river. You're supporting all the venues around it. You're supporting the library, AV Cop. I just think that we have a mindset, there's so much going on in the world. And I just think if we could just concentrate on our great little area here and just put our efforts into the beauty of Groton Bank. I think you're going to find that you're just going to get, this thing's going to grow and get more sponsors.
Absolutely.
We hope to keep growing every year. It has grown this year. I mean, they started off very small last year, and this year, my understanding is it has grown quite a bit.
Yes.
Well, I think, Wendy, you have a permanent committee member. I don't know what the streeters do in there, but I do know they do a lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, we're very lucky.
Is Florida in your... I always tell everybody else, sometimes my volunteers at the art festival, I say, where are they? And my husband will say, they're in Florida, Susette. You know how old they are? But that's the other thing is, too, I'm hoping that it will also inspire younger volunteers. I mean, Jessica, I don't want to say I'm not going to get into the generational thing, but Jessica here has been just fantastic on volunteering and helping out, and a great member of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, because Jessica, when we first had her on, she gets it. She gets it that you you have to be plugged in, not from only the organization that you're related to, but also that it's just the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And
plus, we live here. Like that's the big thing, because I talk a lot with people about like, what do you love about Groton, right? And I mean like collectively, like City of Groton, Town of Groton, Mystic, knowing Groton, Long Point, and everybody comes back to the community. You get to meet people. It's your neighbors. You get to go out there. Like you see people at Groton Bank Day. You then go down to Bridge Market, who I know you're talking about is one of the food vendors here, and you walk in and Karen's just like, "Hi, how's it going?" Do you know what I mean? Like I love that. This is the type of place that I want to be raising my family in, and it's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've only got a couple of minutes. Let's get it out there. Irma, Wendy, when is this event?
It is Saturday, June 8th,
Okay.
from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. All the venues are open, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And we've just got a 1 day.
Correct, just one day.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we ever want to grow it to 2 days, or this is a lot of work?
Not this
She
year.
is so politically correct. Irma, like, okay, please don't ask me this question.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
anyways, we've got just about a minute left. Wendy, tell us a little bit about Bill Memorial Library. Anything coming up?
Well, let's see. We have in July. We're part of the Connecticut Author Trail. We have Christopher Wygren coming. He wrote a book called Connecticut Architecture, which explores 100 different buildings that are famous in Connecticut. Unfortunately, Bill Memorial's not in there yet, but we're hoping maybe his second edition.
I just wanted to get a little plug in there for Wendy, because she works so very hard too.
We're planning summer programs for kids and teens and adults.
So if people want to register for the programs, if businesses want to sponsor, or just if individuals want to come in and get cards, they can obviously come to the building itself. What's the street location?
It's 240 Monument Street.
You can't miss the building.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right up the top of the hill, right next to Fort Griswold.
Yeah.
We're really like under the monument, basically.
And then what was the website again?
It's billmemorial.org.
Okay, great.
Well, Irma, Wendy, it's been a great, fantastic show, and thank you for all you do, Irma. We'll catch you on another volunteer day. Jessica, thank you so much. Jessica, I'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
You're co-hosting again. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening.